It says that, in quotes, if you know the dossier on Dampare, which was placed on the table of President Akufo-Addo, you will be shocked at why he was romancing such evil. Alleges that the former member of parliament for Akemo-Ibuakwa South constituency in the Eastern region. So the statement attached sharply contrasts reputation and character, arguing that while reputation can be artificially boosted, true character like a pregnancy, or true character is like a pregnancy, it will ultimately show. He was referring to the ex-IGP who had appeared before the Parliament's ad hoc committee, which probed the alleged plot by Daniel Bugri Nabu and others to remove Dr. Akufo Dampare. The ex-IGP has reportedly has been portrayed as someone who is beloved, who is beloved by segments of the public, yet disliked by a majority of police officers, both senior and junior. So some celebrated enthusiastically following his removal last Thursday, which we also saw on social media and on TV, after many weeks of speculation politically, while he was appointed under the administration of the New Patriotic Party. The now ruling National Democratic Congress, NDC, has also raised concerns about him, citing his failure to investigate and arrest those responsible for murders on election day, particularly during the 2020 and 2024 elections. The rest continues, so it's a long report, but that's about Atachia's account. Yes.
I'm happy you said Atachia's account and not Abuna Osayasari's account. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. I mean, he did what, he had to do. And during his tenure, we saw some positive change in the whole setup of the security agencies. That is what we should remember him for. And then, and move on, because this is Abuna Osayasari's account.
I see.
I think he's contributed his quota.
Yeah.
And a new president has come, says, thank you, I want to move on with another person. And there's nothing wrong with it, because we see changes every time in our lives. And so we should just embrace this and then move on and give the new IGP, the support that he needs to also succeed. Because at the end of the day, it's our security that is at stake here.
Gabby, you have a bite on this? Oh, it's okay.
Oh, how can you bring a topic and they tell me not to contribute? Let me say a good morning to our viewers. A good morning to the class of 1997 who are forced to watch because they're expecting me to decimate Abuna this morning. Abuna, good morning.
I greeted you when I got in here.
Long time. Oh, but I responded.
Yeah. So
long time no
saying
see.
Good morning again because you're on cameras, I don't think we've already said the good mornings to ourselves. So
no, but actually, it's part of the protocols. It's part of the protocols that before we talk, we exchange pleasure.
Again, I see.
You can relax. We've not started yet. Annie, on the issue of the IGP, first of all, let me congratulate former IGP Dampare. I think that he came into the position with a lot of expectations on his shoulders, being a young police officer. At the time when he took office, there was an overwhelming need for reforms in the Ghana Police Service. And I think that he discharged his duties creditably well. I saw the video that you referenced in your introduction when he spoke about what his greatest fear was. And he mentioned that his greatest fear would be that after the successors chopped with his team, and I like the reference to team in a lot of his conversations about the Ghana police hierarchy. Because the person who is now taking over from him is actually a member of that team. And I expect that a lot of the successes that they've chopped together as a team will be amplified. Where there were weaknesses and challenges, I'm very sure that he himself noted those issues out. And so there will be a form of a continuation of the legacy that one was building for the Ghana Police Service. And I think that it was a very positive legacy. Because, getting to the latter part of last year, I had an incident with some policemen. And they really stressed my life for like 3 hours. So when I was leaving, I out of my own generosity, I just wanted to dash them something. And the leader of the squad told me that if they took anything from me, they'll be filed from the police service, because Dampare has issued a stern warning that no police officer is supposed to take anything from anybody. And I was very impressed.
You had body cams on them?
No, I don't think they had body cams on them.
So they were not supposed to be taking, but...
No, but I mean, I thought that the message and what he wanted to achieve...
Largely, he did.
He did.
But some police officers were still taking anyway.
Yes, but I encountered one who declined.
Okay.
And gave me the reason why they were declining, because I didn't even know that the message had gone down that deep. I mean, there are still some few ones who, you know, but by and large, I think that figure has reduced, because now there's more professionalism in the police service. The brand of the Ghana police service was uplifted. Gone are the days where a police officer had only 1 or 2 uniforms. Today they have a whole shop where if you want to, you can acquire more police uniforms. Yeah. And I mean, there are a lot of positive changes that Mr. Dampare brought to the Ghana police service. I wish the current IGP well. I wasn't so pleased about when he went to the headquarters and the scenes that generated. I am not so much into the nuances of how police structures work, but ordinarily, I thought that there's supposed to be a parade where they pull you out of service and then you get your glory and then you move out.
That will be done, or?
Yes, I expect that should be done. And I hope that before it is done, that IGP Yohunu will kind of clear, because that was a bad image for the police, to be very honest. For somebody to be throwing money at the incoming IGP and blaming insult on the former IGP, that was not professional on the part of the police service, especially at the police headquarters. So I hope that they will clear and polish
like those videos we saw. I mean, I wish I could get examples or some part of those videos so that we see how it happened. It was strange. I wasn't sure what was going on. Okay, so what was the money for? Who was throwing the money? Was it Yohunu himself or the supporters?
In all organizations, there are definitely people who will be okay with things that you do and your management style. And there are always going to be some people who will not be so happy about it. So it's okay and normal that you have disgruntled stuff and there may be disagreements. But to openly insult leadership at that level and all that, I think it was not too tasteful for the Ghana Police Service. Now, moving on to my next point. I've seen there's some CSOs that are going to protest at the Supreme Court against the change in the police hierarchy. I'll plead with them that as much as we all
No, they are not going to protest. They were trying to stop the move.
So I agree that Dampare did well. But here's a case where a new regime has come into government. And definitely to safeguard that regime is going to take its own security very, very critical. It wasn't just Dampare who was made to step aside. We have a new prisons commissions boss. We have a new fire service boss. We have a new immigration service boss. And by the way, I think prisons and fire service are now led by women. So I wish them well in this regard. And if you know about the history of Kwame Nkrumah's overthrow and the role that his own police chief played to leave him exposed, you'll understand why when any government comes, one of the key things they pay attention to is to look at the leadership of the security. Anybody who plays with it is playing with their own regime, and nobody is going to do that.
I mean, I cannot say the things that I know behind the scenes, but if whatever I know or I heard behind the scenes is anything to go by, then the president had every reason to remove the IGP. And
then finally, let me conclude. IGP Dr. Dampare has a very good record, and he's still young. He still has age on his side. I think that because of the successes and the positives around him, there's still a lot of opportunities available to him, not just locally, within the sub-region, within the entire
security,
AU architecture, even within the UN system and other global security initiatives. So there's a huge opportunity that has now opened up to somebody like him. So I think that even though sometimes some of these things can make you lose your patriotic spirit, you should keep the energy about him and then stay positive, because
that's the sister of a woman, one of Ghana's women working in the UN system. So she knows what she's talking about. You know, when Dampare came, for myself, the positive thing that gave me hope that it will, in the long run, will change the whole policing system was the change of the headquarters. When I saw that architecture and everything that happened at the headquarters, I thought, every time you motivational speakers speak to us, you say, change your environment first, change your... So that change made me feel was going to translate into the lives and the profession of the police service. And we saw the transformation, to be honest. I mean, you can talk about his weaknesses, yes, but we saw the transformation. We saw even the appearance of a police officer. I come to work at dawn, and at the time you're driving to work, I always use the police headquarters. You see them walking briskly at dawn to the office, neatly dressed. And mostly when I see the women, I admire them more than the men. You know, neatly dressed, walking briskly to the office. It means by 5:30, 6, they're there. They're always like reporting early, because that was a change I never saw until Dampare took over. Then we saw police visibility around us. And sometimes you see them riding in groups, and you wonder where these bikes are going to. So I asked a question one time. They said, when they deployed, these days, this is how they go. So they go in a group, and then when you get to your station, you get out of the group and they continue that way. And I thought, that was, you might see that it was just for the optics, but sometimes the optics also sends...
Oh, I don't think it was for the optics.
No, you may.
Yeah,
I mean, people have their own...
these were serious reforms that went on.
Yes.
And I believe that it was also because he got support from the then ruling government. When you look at the kind of infrastructure and support this guy and the NPP government gave to the security agencies, especially under Dampare's tenure, clearly tells you that you cannot do it on your own. You also need the support of the government to push in the resources that you need to see that change. And so I pray and hope that our current President Mahama, will also give the current IGP that support
and maybe
to enable him, also, add on to whatever the former IGP was able to do, because clearly you cannot do it on your own without the support of the government in power.